Hi Tubies, here's Alexandra, and welcome to yet another video. This time we will talk about Magic the Gathering cube draftings. You don't know what a cube drafting is? You don't know what drafting is? Yes, GP, you're throwing with very strange names around you like candy. My head is swirling. Well, I will come to that. Don't worry. So, let's start with the term drafting. What is drafting in general? Well, your normal Magic the Gathering environment is the two players have two separate decks, one for each player, obviously, and they play against each other. So, one big problem there is the power level of the decks. Well, normally, very often the situation occurs. One player wants to play against another one, and the power level of the decks aren't equal. One has a modern format deck, and the other one a standard format deck. Right at this point, and the modern format deck always beats the standard format deck, and then out of a sudden a third player comes and he wants to play, and he has a legacy deck or a vintage deck, and he blasts away the modern format deck in 2 turns, and well, this is a lot of frustration amongst the players, and also, even inside the formats, for example, 2 standard players fight against each other, and the one has a deck that is 500 euros worth of cards, or $600, or whatever currency you live in, and the other one has a $10 deck, and well, obviously, you got blasted away with overpowered decks. And this is exactly where the drafting comes in. Drafting is a format where the power level is absolutely equal. There are basically 2 different versions of drafting. First is the sealed format. This means that every player uses 6 booster packs from Magic the Gathering, and you build a 40 card deck out of these 6 boosters, plus the land base from standard lands you want to have inside this deck. So, and then both players battle each other with those built decks. But let's face it, this is over time very cost intensive, because every time to buy 6 boosters just to play against each other is, well, rather expensive. Then there's the second format. This is the normal booster draft. This is often played in tournaments or in Friday Night Magic. This is basically each player buys 3 boosters. Then the first booster is opened, and you pick 1 card, and then you take the booster and give it to the player on your left side, and you get from your right side the booster with 1 card missing. Then you pick another card and toss the booster away to the left person again, and so on until the first booster is empty. Then you open the second booster, and so on until all the cards are picked. And then from this and the amount of lands you want into this deck, well, and you build a 40 card deck out of this. And then you play against each other. These both formats are very equally power leveled, as I said before, because every player has the same chances of getting good cards and bad cards and there are no super powerful combos in there, and well, you can play against each other very well. And then again, it is cost intensive because every time you have to buy 3 boosters. So, in order to fight that, someone several years ago invented the cube drafting. So, what is a cube exactly? Well, as you see here right in front of me, I have here a selection of cards and here another selection of cards, and this together is my cube. So, let's dive right into it. What are these? This here are just a number of random selected cards of all kinds of colors and shapes, and these are all commons, as you can see. I have here enough commons for a 12-player draft in this cube. So, those are my commons, and here I have my uncommons, also randomly selected and all in sleeves. Then I have several lands here for making your decks. And I have also a selection of rare cards. And with this cube, I can recreate boosters to make my own drafts. I simply pick the amount of cards I need for boosters, randomly selected out of this this cube, and then create my boosters again, and well, then I draft with my friends. So, but then you ask, well, how is a magic booster built up? Well, then we have to have a look at a magic card booster. Well, a magic card booster is normally with 16 cards. 16 cards in one little package. Sometimes there are 17 cards, but those are rather rare. Normally you have in your 16 card booster, you have 10 times a common, like those. Then you have 3 uncommon cards. Then you have 1 rare card. Then you have 1 of those cards here. So a filler card or a token sometimes, just with some commercial on it. And then you have a simple standard land card. In a normal booster draft from your 16 card booster, this filler card is put out, and also the land card, and you're basically drafting with 14 cards from this booster. So then let's simply create one magic booster. So we just grab us here some cards. Let me pick that this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 commons. Ta-da. Then 3 uncommons. 1, 2, 3. And then randomly 1 rare. So let's have a look how our booster looks like. So in this booster, for example, we have the Nimish Runner, a 3/3/4/3 in green. The Journey's End. The Crypt Creeper. Then we have here a non-standard land. A white instant spell that gives your life points. Then Chandra's Fury. Then you have here Duty-Bound Dead, Blood Hunter Bat, Satyr Hedonist, Negate, and here we have the uncommons: Elixir of Immortality, Tectonic Edge, Boros Key Rune, and as the rare we have Growl of the Gods. So, this is a standard booster, and in a drafting format you open that booster and then you pick, okay, what do I want to have first? Okay, I pick the rare, and then you toss the booster to your side and you get a different booster, and then you pick, okay, I take Duty Bound Dead, and then and so on, and from these cards you create then your deck. So, how many cards you need in your cube? This is rather simply to answer, but rather hard to execute. It totally depends on the player size you want to play against. So if you only have one friend to play Magic against, you don't need that big of a cube. Like I said, this cube I have here is for 12 players, and this is rather a big cube. Normally you only need 6 boosters for a 2-player matchup for each player, so you can play sealed against each other. Meaning you need 60 commons for each player, so 120 uncommon cards. Then you need for each player 6 times 3 uncommons and 6 rares. So basically 6 boosters for every player. If you want to play the normal draft, you need 3 boosters for every player. So 30 commons, 9 uncommons and 3 rares for each player. And also you need lands, enough lands to create decks. So several people think that a cube must be all the super expensive cards and is only something for well, extremely rich players. No, not at all. You can build your cube rather simple. For example, if you're a long time Magic player, then you will have, for example, standard decks, and then sometimes cards get out of the rotation for a standard format, and in this occasion, this cards normally will be tossed to the side and collecting dust. But instead of collecting dust, you can simply add them to your cube. Just add all the commons and uncommons and rares that you have from this standard environment that just rotated out into your cube, and voila, you're out of a sudden have a cube at hand. Another way to get a rather cheap cube is to go online on eBay. For example, you can buy complete playset sets for a complete set. So, for example, you can say, I want to have a complete common set of M14 with all the playsets. That means that you get every common card 4 times that is in M14. And also you can buy the complete uncommon set. And then, for example, you buy a 50 card rare set. This is well, rather cheap. You get most of the time 50 rares for 20 euro. This is less than 1 euro per rare, and well, with that you can then create your first cube. Also, there are several different versions of cubes. Like I said, this what I said just is simple. A standard cube, not very powerful. Also, you can go totally crazy with your cube if you are a very long time player and you have lots and lots of cards out of the first editions of Magic, the so-called T9 cards, and you can create the a drafting format out of the most powerful cards that are ever printed. So you can determine the strength of your own cube. Simply put the most powerful cards you can think of into your cube. But keep in mind to separate them, and after the games you separate them again into the 4 different factions: the commons, uncommons, rares, and lands. So, and with that you can instead of pumping money into Magic, you can create your cube and then draft with it and have a nice environment with the same power level. This is the main goal of this. You can play tournaments and have lots and lots of fun with your friends with just this cube, and well, then you don't have to spend any more super powerful money into lots and lots of money into Magic to keep your standard decks at hand. If you just want to play fun, equal powered games, then the cube is absolutely something for you. So I hope this helped you a lot to well, get a sense of how to create your cube. How big should a cube be? Well, it totally depends on your player size. So, like I said, this cube here is for 12 people. You can make it a lot smaller if you have, for example, 4 friends you want to play with. You don't need that big of a cube. But also, if you are just playing with 4 friends, also a big cube like this could benefit, because that gives the card rotation more time. So you can have, with the same cube, over time more different experiences. So you can draft again and again and again without the fear of having always the same decks appear. Also in this cube I have double the size of my rare cards and 20% more uncommons than normally for a 12-player deck. This is just a little bit preference to keep the rotation a little bit better. So, I hope this video helped you, and we see us in the next video. You're Alexandra. See you.